How's everyone doing? It's me, Cameron. I bet you guys didn't expect me, doing a video. What a surprise. How did Cameron doing a video? It's crazy. Before the video starts, smash the like button. Show your guys' support. You can't leave dislikes on YouTube anymore. Fantastic news. You guys, you're able to get at me with the dislikes. Well, I got YouTube to remove them. How fantastic. Today I want to talk a little bit about the worst date I've been on. Okay, now, straight off the bat, I'm not going to make a video on you if I go on a date with you and the date doesn't go well. Let's firstly clear that up. With this situation, it wasn't just the date. The date was not the problem, okay? I mean, it wasn't a good date, but that wasn't the problem. That's not why I'm making this video. The whole situation was the problem, and that's why, I'm making a video on it. So I started talking to this girl in July. And in July, I was pretty desperate for a relationship, if you want to know the truth. I went through a breakup, with my ex-girlfriend Isha back in March. And after that, I got into a casual relationship in May. And it sucked. It really did. I hated the dynamic of being in love with someone, but them not loving you back. Who would have thought? It's not a great dynamic to have. So after that casual relationship ended in July, I was really looking for a relationship. I was looking for someone. And I was quite desperate, if you want to know the truth. Now, I was talking to, multiple girls at the same time. What a player I was, I know. And she just came across as a little bit awkward, in her snaps. And because of that, I just stopped talking to her because I wasn't that interested in her. And I didn't feel like she was that into me either. So I didn't feel like it was a harsh thing to do. Like, she wasn't bugging me. Like, I stopped messaging her and she took the hint. Like you should, pretty much. And I remember in October thinking to myself, I've gone through 3 failed talking stages. I'm running out of options here. I'm going to reach out to her again. And I just want to make the point clear that even though she came across as awkward, she wasn't ugly or anything. She wasn't a bad person. I was still attracted to her. I felt like she was attractive, but she just came across as so awkward. I can't describe it. I just can't. But pretty much, we started talking to each other, and this time it was a bit more for real. I asked for a number, and she gave me her number. And that's when the red flags started, because when she gave me her number, I obviously messaged her number asking if she wanted to call, and she didn't reply for 2 days, which was bizarre because before that, she was replying to me really, really well, really quickly. I remember her eventually reaching out to me saying, sorry, I was at my family all day or something like that. It was a bit of a weird situation, we were talking to each other, replying to each other super quick, but then the second she gave me her number, she didn't reply for 2 days. It was just weird, but I didn't think much of it. After that, we started calling each other, and that's when I was really surprised because this girl, I really got on with her over call. She was a trainee music teacher. I mean, she still is a trainee music teacher. This was only 3 months ago, but I found that really attractive. I don't know what it was about it. And the more I got to know this girl, over the phone, the more I actually was interested in, going on a date with her. I brought up meeting up with her and she seemed pretty open to it, which was good. And the call went, really well. It lasted 3 hours. And I felt like this girl, was into me and I felt like there was a good vibe there. I remember after the call, complimenting her, saying, "You've got a really cute laugh," which is very cringe. And she didn't reply to that on the day. Obviously not a big deal. But the day after, she messaged me and she talked about this guy that she had been on a few dates with. Now, this girl, she lives in Cambridge. I think that's fine to say, you guys aren't going to track her down, are you? Okay. But I need to give a little bit of context to this situation. So she lives in Cambridge, which is 90 miles away from me. So it's quite a far distance away from me. And as much as I thought she liked me, obviously distance can be a problem. For me, it's not a problem. I love traveling. I love going to new places anyway. I don't know why. And for some reason, I find long-distance relationships more attractive than short-distance relationships. I know that sounds stupid. She mentioned that she had been on a few dates with someone from Cambridge. And at that point, I was really just disappointed because I was thinking to myself, realistically, I started talking to you back in July. I reach out to you again, in October, and you've gone on, a few dates with someone else. It's God dang it, I got the wrong timing. I was really frustrated at that because I like this girl. I really vibed with her in the call, and I felt like she vibed with me as well. I mean, we called each other for 3 hours, and at the end of the call, I was the one who ended it. So I was thinking to myself, this girl must at least find me interesting. Like 3 hours is a long time. I remember, she said that she wanted to see where, things were going to go with this guy. And I remember at the time looking at the message and thinking to myself, like, damn, that's a bummer. I really like this girl, and I started talking to this girl in July, and initially I was the one who stopped pursuing her, and now I've come back, but I've come back too late. So I was just kind of frustrated at the situation and frustrated myself. And I remember thinking to myself, like, realistically, words and actions are very different. Like, yes, she said those things to me, but at the end of the day, she was in a call with me and she got on with me really well. Like, I think actions speak louder than words. I felt like, yes, this girl is telling me, listen, I'm not interested in pursuing anything with you. She's telling me that, but then her actions are saying otherwise. So I remember, messaging her and saying to her, like, listen, that's fine. You can date whoever you want. I'm still interested in meeting up with you, and I just think you're a really good person. I want to see, what happens. And after I said that, she replied very warmly to that. Like, we arranged to meet up with each other, and we arranged to meet up with each other halfway. Like, she lives like 90 miles away from me. So meeting halfway is kind of an ask, And again, as I mentioned before, I think actions speak louder than words. Yes, she said to me, I've been on a few dates with this guy and I want to see how things go with him. Yes, she said that to me, but the actions of how much investment she was putting into me, wanting to meet up with me halfway, going on the train to do that, talking to me for hours, it just made me think that, there was something there and there was a decent chance there. And that's how I thought about things. Like, when she brought up this guy, I wasn't thinking to myself, I'm going to beat this guy, I'm going to be way better than this guy, and I'm going to have her, and everything's going to be amazing. Because I didn't even know if I liked her that much myself. Like, yes, the call went well, but, you can't really work everything out from a flipping voice call, can you? So what ended up happening is, we called each other again, and the call went really, really well. I really vibed with this girl. And she remembered, like, very, very specific things about me. And the way that she was coming across, she came across like she was really into me, to be honest. And the way I looked at it was, I'm going to meet up with this girl, right? And I felt like I had a good chance with her. We ended up, meeting up with each other. And it was just the little things, like she turned up early and, everything was fine. Like, she paid for her tickets and she booked the tickets very quickly. Like, everything, she just seemed really interested, and it just gave me a lot of hope that there was something there. And then the date happened. So this is where the story actually becomes interesting. So we met up with each other outside the train station, and initially she didn't seem that into me. And as I mentioned before, like, I don't have a problem with going on a date with someone and it not working out. I don't believe that makes the date a failure, because I think the dates are there to see what happens. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. That doesn't mean that the whole date is an L. So I wasn't too disappointed at that. I met up with her and she looked good in person and everything was fine. I remember we went to some shops. We went to like Lush, and then we went to this clothes store, and she was looking for a new outfit. Obviously, she's a teacher. You need to wear clothes in a school. So she was doing some outfit shopping. And I felt a bit friend-zoned, to be honest. It was a little bit of an L. But I was thinking to myself, like, this girl has travelled an hour and a half to come see me. We met halfway, but her train took a lot longer than mine. And it was more expensive as well. So I was just thinking to myself, like, this girl, she must like me. Like, and I'm a good-looking guy. Like, I'm not saying that I was out of a league, but I felt like I had a really good chance. I was a bit confused to why she was being a bit reserved, but then I obviously remembered this other guy. He was part of the situation. We then, went to the park, and it was all right. It wasn't romantic. There wasn't really a spark there, and I was just thinking to myself, like, things aren't going to work out. And then we went to the pub, and that's when everything went really well all of a sudden. Like, we really started vibing with each other, and that's when I started getting my hopes up. We were talking to each other and we were really getting on with each other. Better than I even dreamed of, to be honest. Like, I really wanted this to go well. I wanted this day to go well because I like this girl. And it did go well. It went really well at the pub. And just to express how well it went, in my opinion, there was a couple next to us, and I said, word for word, this is probably the biggest L I've taken in my whole life. I said to her, look at that other couple over there. I couldn't believe I said that, but she reacted well to it. Like, if you're on a date with someone and you say that, they normally they would react very poorly, so if they didn't like you. So that made me feel pretty good about things. But yeah, we really vibed with each other. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I've got to make a move on this girl. So after we then went from the pub, we went to the park. We went to a different park this time. Great strategy here, guys. Great strategy from the dating king over here, How to Cameron. When we went to the park, it again changed. Like, it went from her being really into me, and she was into me. Like, it was electric. Like, we were at the pub with each other, completely vibing with each other. I genuinely was thinking to myself, like, this girl's actually relationship material. This is crazy. But yeah, we went to the park and I wanted to make a move on her, but she was just so far away. Like, it was crazy. She was like orbiting me. It was bizarre. But literally, I was at the park with her. I'm like trying to get her to come closer to me. I'm not gonna climb over her. Like, I'm not gonna approach her. Like, I wanted her to approach me, but she wasn't. She just seemed kind of reserved. And I remember bringing up this guy, and that was clearly the problem. And that's where the L resided. It was with this guy. She started talking about this guy, and the way that she described him, she just described him as a complete fuckboy. Yet he was completely consuming her whole mind. Like, completely. She mentioned that he didn't talk to her as much as he should. She didn't know if he wanted a serious relationship, and I remember just saying to her, like, listen, we got on with each other really well. We really vibe with each other. She was agreeing with me when I said these things. Yet you're wasting your time on a guy that most of the time you're not going to succeed with, because if a guy has not made his intentions clear and you've gone on a few dates with him, chances are he's just fucking around with you. Like, that's what a lot of guys do. And that's what a lot of women, they fall for these guys, because they fall for these guys that they perceive as high value, but they're not actually high value. Like, they think because they have to pursue a guy, it's because the guy's better than them. Nope. It's just because the guy has no emotions. He's not able to recognize you for your value, and that's why he doesn't care about you, yet you pursue him, and you waste your time with him. And I was just there in that really shit position of liking this girl, really liking this girl, and feeling like there was something there. And being cock-blocked by this guy who I don't know anything about. I've never seen a picture of him. I didn't know his name or anything. I mean, cock-blocked by him, and I'm just thinking to myself, what's the big deal? You've gone on a few dates with him, and you feel guilty. You feel guilty for going on a date with me? That's what she said. She felt guilty. And I was literally saying to her, you're not in a relationship with this guy. This guy hasn't even made it clear that he wants a relationship. So he's just fucking with you, pretty much. And that made me feel like a complete nice guy. I would never do that. But realistically, I didn't want to get in a relationship with her at the time. I just wanted to keep seeing her. Because obviously I think relationships, they take time to build. You don't just want to go on a date with someone, boom, be in a relationship with them. And I remember saying to her, listen, I am looking for a serious relationship, but I don't want to rush into things. I want it to be natural. I don't want to jump into something without, fully meaning it. But she just wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. And I remember saying to her, do you want a hug? Your boy was on the ropes. Your boy was on the ropes big time. And we hugged each other. And she seemed pretty clingy. I was pretty surprised, to be honest. And it just hit me that realistically what had happened was this guy was everything she was looking for in a guy. This guy, he beat me to it. Straight up, he beat me to it. It doesn't mean that he's a better person than me, because I very much doubt that. Because, as attractive as this girl was, I don't think she could do better than me. But pretty much, he was there in her life, not giving her much. But she was putting everything into this guy. She was obsessed with this guy, it came across like. But he wasn't giving her anything back. But I was. So pretty much what she was seeing in me is what she wanted from this other guy. And that's why she reciprocated my energy so well. Because I was very, I was strong on the emotional front. I was there for her. I was talking to her. I was being respectful of her. I was making sure that she felt safe. I wasn't, jumping on her, trying to get that physical connection like some crazy guys do. like forcing the physical connection. I'm not a nice guy. I keep coming across like a nice guy, but that's genuinely how I was being. And like with how I was talking about like relationships and stuff, I was talking about things from my experience. Obviously, going through a serious relationship, I was trying to warn her, and I was trying to say to her, like, you're wasting your time on this guy because you perceive him as high value, but realistically, he's not giving you the time of day. He's not even expressed what he wants. He's not expressing if he wants something serious, and you're confused about it. And that's normally because, you know, he's being manipulative. A lot of guys do that. They don't make it clear what they want, so they'll treat you as their girlfriend, but then they won't be loyal, and they do that to manipulate you and make you weak. So I was there trying to like help her and being that emotional support because I cared about her, because I have that respect for her. And, you know, I just came across as a nice guy, and she wanted that, but she didn't want that from me. She wanted it from him. And she felt guilty about it. She felt guilty about going on a date with me because she just felt disloyal, even though she wasn't in a relationship with this guy. So it sucked. It really did suck. I mean, walking to the station, and I remember asking her, have you slept with this guy? And that's where the L's took, because she said yes, she had slept with this guy. So pretty much she said to me over text, you know, I've gone on a few dates with this guy from Cambridge, because that's where she's from. Yet, in reality, he had boned her. He was boning that ass. Literally, you know what I mentioned? Or she didn't reply to me after she gave me a number on that day. Fantastic. Your boy Cameron, he's trying to get a girl's number while he's boning, he's going to town. Like, you can't make it up. And at that point, I was like, oh, that makes sense then, doesn't it? Like, I'm fine with going on a date with someone who has gone on a date with someone else. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're sleeping with someone else, like, I'm not interested in going on a date with you, because clearly you really like him. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm not saying that I expected her to tell me that, you know, he was boning her. Like, I didn't expect her to, you know, say that over text, because obviously she didn't know me that well, and it would have been a bit weird. But I did expect her to not really lie. Because I think if you say, oh, I've gone on a few dates with someone, but in reality, you know, you've slept with him multiple times, I think those are very different things. You know, when you say to a guy, oh, I've been on a few dates with this other guy, it doesn't seem like a big deal. But then the reality of the situation is it is a deal breaker because you've slept with them. And that is impossible to compete with. Because for you to sleep with someone when you're emotionally available, you've got to be pretty into them. And that's just something that I was never going to be able to compete with. So the day was just a whole waste. And that was it. Like, that was it, really. And it frustrated me because it was so misleading. Like, I really got on with this girl, you know, in the pub. You know, we really vibed with each other. But I felt like, in retrospect, like a mug. Like, I'm there trying to be all diplomatic about it, talking to her about how he's potentially taking advantage of her, and I'm the right choice. You should go for me. I'm there trying to compete with this guy. Yeah, this guy's been going to town, going ham. Like, there's no competition. It's not even feasible. It's like I'm competing with this guy just to, go on another date with her. Like, I didn't even kiss her or anything. Oh, there was no chance of success, and I just felt like such a mug. And guess what? They're in a relationship now. So, what a huge W. Oh my god. It just sucks because I actually really like this girl. I can't lie. It's just so frustrating. And I get that this video is probably very rambly. I didn't want it to come across in this way, but that's what emotions do to you. They make you become a foaming mess. But it was just frustrating, to be honest, because I did really like this girl, and I was there, you know, trying to support her, and I was trying to, like, have her back and be that emotional support, when realistically, she slept with him, and didn't make that at all evident to me. So I realistically was being taken advantage of, because she was acting like, you know, she liked this guy a lot, and she was pursuing this guy, but in reality, she was giving him everything. Like, literally everything. Yet, was not able to give me anything. Like, not in terms of sex. I'm not interested in that. Unless I'm in a relationship with you. But, like, when it comes to just attention, like, how can you call someone for 3 hours and get on with them really well? And obviously, you know, when you're calling someone one-on-one, I'm not trying to be your friend, it's obvious. But then, how can you, like, lead someone on like that? Like, it is leading on. It's just not right. I don't know. Like, imagine some people, they're going to watch this video and they're going to be like, oh, Cameron, you're a complete mug. I know I am. That's why it was a crap situation. Because it made me really swallow my pride. Because I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm being, I've got everything sorted out, getting on with this girl in these calls. And, she's giving me the time of day. So clearly this guy can't be that good. So I have a real chance here. And then going on the date with her and, initially not going well, but then going really well. And then I'm like, oh, thank God it's going well because I really like this girl. But then finding out that he's been boning her. Like, oh. Dear me. So if any of you girls want to return, if you... what do I even say? I'm just waffling beyond belief, guys. I've not made a video for a while, if you couldn't tell. But if there's any women out there watching this video and you guys want me to think highly of women again, guys, help me out. Oh, dear me. I'm sorry this is a bad video, but hopefully it was at least funny. Take care, guys. I'll see you next week. We've got a great upload coming out from the Haddock Cameron factory.